I am the chosen, we are few. I am a goddess, I am the truth. We are the light, we are the way. We are the prophets of today. I like the sun, I am the one. It's just up together, here we come. No longer choosing my materialism. Hey everybody, welcome to For the Culture. I am your host, Cleo Cartel. This is Monday Night Musings. I'm going to talk about some random things, so I hope you enjoy that. I hope I don't ramble too much because I can, so you better get ready for that. So thank you for joining us. This is a great Monday night. It was a great day today. I got to enjoy myself and take some time and do a little gardening, do a little cooking. I hope your Monday was as spectacular as mine was. So here we go. We're going to go right into our show tonight. So tonight I wanted to talk about a show that I watch. And I thoroughly enjoy this show. I even have my husband watching it, which is interesting because he don't like anything. So I watch Insecure with Issa Rae. And tonight I wanted to talk about, do you have a Molly in your life? And if you need to get rid of her. So I love Issa Rae's show, right? Insecure. I think she does an excellent job on this show. I think the production is stellar. I like the way she brings in other producers. I mean, I just love that, how she brings in Kerry Washington. I love how she brings in Regina King. I think, hey, peace, goddess. What's up, Khadijah? Hey, boo. I love how she brings her community of producers and her craft into her world. I think that's dope. I think sharing is everything. So about the show, I love the show. But as I started really getting into the show, I started to discover a pattern with her best friend, Molly. And I was like, damn, I kind of had a Molly in my life. Molly is the one who wants, she's interesting and she's crafty and she's clever. She wants to be the one who is successful, the most educated. She wants the most shine for her. And it's funny because she's somehow convinced everybody that she's really not a problem and that everybody else is the problem. And it's interesting. And I thought about so many people that I know that are great and that are creatives. And I often wondered why there was like a failure to launch, like to really go further than what they had accomplished. And I know sometimes success is really what you want it to be. But then at times there are some things that we need to acknowledge as far as going further and extending our success and just doing a little bit more. So at any rate, Molly is an interesting character. She's like a light dimmer, she's like a dream killer if it ain't her shit, and I thought to myself, wow, there is a lot of that in our community. And it's kind of like a secret thing. And like, if you even talk about it, it almost seems like the Mollys have made it so that if you even speak about it, like, oh, goddamn, you're being like a Molly, you're like a dream killer. It's like, you're bad, like you're the bad one, and it's interesting how they twist that shit. And it's funny. So let's talk about that. So often when you are a creative, or you're somebody that's an entrepreneur like Issa Rae is on the show, it's hard to get your blocks together to build. And sometimes it takes time. Sometimes it takes some creative genius, some type of spark of creative genius. Sometimes it takes, or most times it takes a lot of support. You gotta have a winning team of supporters around you. And sometimes those supporters shouldn't, but sometimes they can be. They shouldn't really be interested in what you're doing. They should have their own thing going on. So, with Issa Rae in this show, every time she tries to do something creative, it's like her friends don't really take it seriously. It's like, oh, you doing that again? Oh, you gonna try that again? Oh, that again? Oh. And I often wonder in real time, real life, how many of us have those energies around us, and where does that come from, and why are we like that, and why do we care so much? Why do we care so much about whether or not someone is trying something again? You know, I think, failure is just something for you to just learn a lesson on how to come next time. You fail at things because of a lack of information, or a lack of practice, or a lack of skill, and you keep going at it until you chip away from all those things that are not, until you have all the things you have that are good. So it's interesting to sit here and reflect on life. So I said to myself, you know, in life, how many Mollies have I had in my life? Not only girlfriends, but hell, men that I have been in a relationship with. Because in order to really be successful in our communities as Black men and women, we need cheerleaders. We need people to say, I am with you, even if you fall, even if you fall. Peace, Queen. So it's interesting to see where that energy is coming from. Like, what is the motivation of a Molly? you know, I think it's a trauma thing. I watched the show with Issa Rae, and I watched how Molly had issues with her mother and father when she found out that her father had been cheating on her mother, and no one told her. She was pissed. I think I had a Molly and never knew it was a Molly until you just made that comparison. It's a trip because what makes somebody so angry, Khadijah, that they would take so much time to make up shit, to hate, to knock you down, to not support you to a degree. There has to be something traumatizing or from some childhood traumas, some childhood shit that they haven't gotten to. So my thing I want to get to is like, do we take enough time to really get to know our circle? To ask the right questions, to watch how a person moves. You know, does this person show up for me like I show up for them? These things nowadays in this 2020 thing for melanated people is very important. We need the support of each other. Sometimes, yes, of course, when you're very busy, you are not going to make it to everything, but you can make an effort to make it to some things to support the people that are in your circles. So this Molly thing, So this Molly, she had a problem with her parents, right? So her dad was cheating on her mom and nobody told her. She was pissed. But she had already been Molly before this even happened. So I'm thinking that there were a bunch of things that she was not addressing, as a young adult going into her success and everything. And then she had this energy like at work to where everybody was a conquest. It was competition this, competition that, competition. I gotta crush this person. I gotta do this. Oh, I gotta make sure I make this presentation to the partners before this person gets there. And I thought to myself, how happy can one person be in that energy? You know, I remember in a situation with this whole Molly thing. I remember I had an assistant in my business when I had first really, really launched Yummy Goods. Now, Yummy Goods is one of my companies, a natural vegan body hair care product line. This is doing very well on its own. It sells itself, blah, 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 blah. But I brung in a young sister, right? And I noticed like every time she like crossed a T or dotted an I, she wanted me to like pat her on her back. And I was like, God damn, I can't pat you on your back for every goddamn thing you do. This is great, but this is not the pillar of our success. This is not the ice cream on the cake. This ain't the syrup on the pancake. So we have to keep going. But what I noticed was that there was a lack of that in her life that she never really got that. So every time she thought she did something well or she learned something, she desired some attention. And me, I learned early. My father taught me, and this is just for me. And I feel bad because she did not have these components. And I just felt bad after I really looked at the situation. I said, damn, Cleo, you can be a little harsh, but at the same time, you got to learn how to pat your motherfucking self on the back. Life is not going to be like, oh, good job, Cleo. Good job, Khadijah. Good job, LaDonna. Good job, Rolanda. Every time you accomplish something, this is just not the world that we live in. Should we do more? Probably so. So back to the whole Molly thing. It was like an attention thing. And it was an attention thing no matter if she was crushing or killing people's spirits. And I thought to myself, I have some people like that in my circle. I show up for them. You ever had a person? I have a relative, and I'm sorry. I just have to start being transparent about my journey, and what I no longer want in my life, And if you've had these things or these type of people, maybe this can shed some light on why you are not further or why we spend too much time on people who don't spend time on us. So I have this relative, and we would talk and talk and talk. But as I reflected on a lot of our conversations, it was a lot of me listening. And I never got a chance to really voice, what I was going through. It was a one-sided situation. And for years, I was allowing it because I was nice. I was nice and I was fun-spirited. But then after some really tragic things had started happening to me, I noticed that, like, damn, are you really there for me? Like, I'm there for you. Are you really listening to what I'm trying to convey to you? And are you giving me solutions that are positive, that would launch me into a direction that would be some healing, And then I thought to myself, no. And as we kept going in life and getting older, and as we begin to become in relationships and everything, it was like, but what about me? I'm always there for you. You always want me to come do this for you and do this for you. But when I need you, it's like, I can't find you. And then the interesting thing about that is when I couldn't get this person to be present for me, I would find somebody, or God and Spirit would drop somebody in my scope. We would become friends, and they would help and be beautiful. And then that person would be mad and jealous and like talk bad about the person that's helping me. And it was an interesting twist. And I was like, damn, as I really started getting older, and I was like, you know what? This doesn't serve you anymore, Cleo. This doesn't serve you, Offensive. This is not the energy that you want to exchange. This is a relationship to where you're on the using end. You're getting used so much to where you can't complete your task. Funny thing, I have another friend. Every time I go to do an important project, this person pops up. You want to do something? Want to go somewhere? And I love him. But then I had to say to myself, you know what? Is that a distraction? Is this serious? Is this person really concerned about your well-being in terms of you successfully completing this project? And I'm asking myself this because every time I would say something like, well, I have to do a project, I can't hang out, whatever. It would be like this tight energy. And I'd be like, where'd that come from? I must be in your thoughts. I needed to hear this. Sis, and I'd be like, where y'all just listen to, I'm going somewhere tonight. I'd be like, damn, I've showed up for you for umpteen times. I've done everything. I've showed up for family things. I showed up. But when I discuss or I express to you that I have something that's very important that I need to accomplish, you like get an attitude. And I'm like, at first, the first 500 times I didn't address it. Because I don't know what it is about me or what's in me that I just was like, look the other way, Cleo. No, fuck that. We need to address the fact that every time I am in the midst of something great, you come with your funky ass attitude and you come and fuck my shine up. Or you come and fuck my energy up to where I am sitting here wondering what I did wrong to you. Where you're on your plight of success and you're doing your thing and you're shining brightly and and here I am still trying to figure out, well, what do I do? What do I do to this person? Because I know for me that I value and I love hard and I love my relationships that I have cultivated into something that I think is special. Now, everybody does not share that energy. Those are some things that we just got to come in terms with. And then I've heard people say, I have a girlfriend, LaDonna Lee. She says she doesn't throw people away. And I thought for me, something when she said that, sometimes that kind of bothered me. And I thought to myself, do I throw people away? And then Spirit said, put their ass in the garbage, Cleo. Put their ass in the garbage. Because they got to go. Because they are in the way of you being great and feeling amazing about yourself and you sharing that space with them. Because there's no even exchange there. There's no love there. There's only a one-sided love. And in order for us to grow, I was listening to Israel Farm had a good talk today about fair exchange in the dirt. In order for something to manifest or for a seed to actually grow, you have to give it back something. You're not going to get anything. I am an avid gardener. I am a master gardener. And when I started gardening, when I first started and I planted my seeds and I designed what I was going to do and I was hyped and I was this and I was that and I was ready. I went and purchased all these things. And I said, I'm going to be just like my grandmother, everything she taught me. And then I planted some seeds and I left them alone and didn't do anything. And Kyrie, my brother, laughed. He said, what are you doing? I said, shit, I'm starting a garden. What do you mean I'm doing? He said, you ain't tended to that garden in a month and a half. Everything out there is dead. And I was like, what? How could that be? It was like, and then I said, and I was heartbroken. I was heartbroken about that. But I was also full of shit because I knew internally, you didn't invest anything in that garden. You think you went and bought a few little things. You went and spent a few dollars, but you didn't invest what the garden really needed: your time, your energy, water, nutrition, learning about the process, learning about the plant species, learning about what that plant took, learning about what the next plant didn't want, learning about the water, the sun, how the source. You didn't do any of those things to actually have a relationship with the earth. I said, oh, what a phenomenon. Oh, this is, and I was like, well, shame on me. The next year I started a garden. And I started a lightweight small farm. And I said, every day, there were places that I wanted to go and I couldn't go because those plants needed me. I had committed. I was in a committed relationship with fostering and nurturing that land. I had to learn those principles. I had to spend time with them. I had to sit. I had to read. I had to watch videos. I had to fail. I had some successes. I had to trim. I had to harvest. I had to replant again. I had to separate. I had to till. I had to pick weeds. I mean, this shit was harder than my marriage, you know. And I thought to myself, wow, this is maybe why some of my relationships in my life didn't go as well as because you didn't spend no time. You didn't have an investment. You know, you didn't have the right type of energy to foster that relationship for it to really bloom, to see a harvest in it. You know, so many times we want these instant things. And I'm gonna get back to the mollies, but I'm going somewhere. Sometimes we want so many things that are instant, but we don't want to put the investment in. We wonder why is this going awry? Why is this crazy? Why is this not going the way that I really want it to go? And it's simple. It's about being honest about what you're putting into the relationship. What are you putting into this harvest? What are you putting into the soil? you know, Canuck said you got to be loyal to the soil, honey. You got to be loyal to your commitment. Whatever it is, it can be a long-term commitment. It can be a short-term commitment, you know. But these mollies are people that are not committed. They are not loyal to the soil. They're not coming to support you. They're only interested in them, and most of them are only interested in what they can learn from you and steal from you. And that's shameful because we as a people can share a lot of things and we all raise the vibration and we all bloom and we all have a beautiful harvest. But there's some things mentally that we have to attack. We have to go back and say, you know, you have to be your own self-checker about your ain't shitness. You know, I mean, you have to be the first. Your alarm has to go off first before anybody else realizes that your ain't shitness is going off. You have to be that person that checks you. And it's okay to be like, you know what? Today I'm going to spend some time because I've been feeling a certain way. And it's okay to let people know that. And it's okay to take that time and realize, you know what? I'm not being who I say I want other people to be. You don't want to be a Molly. A Molly got a lot of ain't shitness. She's a hater. She's a hating ass motherfucker, and I got to keep it real. Everything that young lady Issa Rae tries to do, that Molly she hates on her relationships. Reciprocity is a must. She hates on her relationships. She hates on her job. She says things to her like she's mediocre. She's lightweight abusive. She's abusive, you know. And then the funny thing about the Issa Rae, she's made this normal. This is normalcy for her. This relationship is normal. She giggles and she laughs it off every time that Molly says something that's cruel or mean. She laughs it off. Oh, but we, you know, because that's her coping mechanism. That's what she's doing. That shit ain't fair. That shit's not cool. If somebody is doing that it's not cool. And you know it, and you know, I don't care if it's family. It's time to start addressing these things because I have figured out that I could have gone a lot further had I addressed these situations, you know. And then you have to do that shit right when it happens. You don't go and think about it, get mad, get angry, and then say, well, you know what, Temperance, I want to talk to you about what happened. Just like, when did that happen? No, you address that shit right when it happens. You know, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm using my friend. I love y'all. I do. But you have to address the things, and then we cannot be afraid, because if somebody gets mad to the point to where they stop talking to you because you've addressed the way you feel. You can't tell somebody the way that they're feeling that they're not feeling that. They're authentically feeling that. I don't care what you think or what you say. If somebody comes to you and says, Cleo, you know, I feel like yesterday or today, you were really mean to me. You were sharp. You were, it was weird. It wasn't our regular thing. And they say, well, no, I wasn't. I don't think I was like that for you. I don't think that's not cool for me to say that because that's the way that they were feeling. The correct response would be, or one of the responses that should be, is probably, well, I did have a crazy, hectic day. I might have been a little bit shorter, and I should have addressed that with you and said that I didn't have the bandwidth or the emotional space to deal with a lot, so it's going to be kind of short. Self reflection, absolutely, Sharon. You know, so today is not going to be the greatest day for us to super interact because I'm dealing with a lot of stuff today, and the party that you're talking to has to respect that, But if we're just like, because the world been roof, 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 that's not effective. So we do have to have self reflection. Thank you, Temperance. Absolutely, and when you're trying to have these relationships, like I'm really bothered about women and having relationships. I was talking with my girlfriend Audrey, and she was saying how she doesn't. Me and her both. We were speaking about how we don't bother with. I don't really have relationships with women who don't have relationships with other women. Like I've had friends for 30, 40 years. They're my best friends. Do we speak all the time? Absolutely not. But when we meet up, it's like magic. But the thing too, I have fostered those relationships. I have put in the time. I looked at people and I thought, well, what don't people do that? They were like, man, Cleo, your friend from kindergarten came up here and grocery shopped at Mama's Market 150 miles from here. I said, yeah, because I done went down and bought, they booked, they done wrote and promoted. I said, this is what we do. But this is what we don't. Apparently, this is what we do not do. And it's strange to me in a time to where we need each other that we don't check our Molly shit. Like, why am I in competition with you? Is that like a learned thing? Or we've been conditioned to like really just compete with each other to where we just don't have no friends, no positive interaction. It's all faulty and fake and fraudulent. Is our competition so important to where we're just damaged? To where if I don't make one thing over on you, or I don't do something that's better than you, and it's funny because COVID has us to where you can't compete with nobody but your fucking self. COVID is an interesting thing, and I think that the competition thing is damaging. It damages us. It's not a African construct. It's not something that we should get into. We should get so far away from competition. How does it serve you? It's absolutely actually destructive in the end. Unless you like being lonely, unless you like being alone so much to a point to where no one wants to be bothered with you. You know, it's interesting. It's just it's so the Mollies of the world. You know, I think that it's important that we address support and encouragement. Khadijah, absolutely. That's sad and self-destructive of hell. LOL, no thank you to competing with another woman. Sharon, what's the point? How does that serve us? How does that serve us? I want to be in. It's funny because I have like some powerful sisters. Like I have my sister Melva, my sister Sonia. I mean, there's some powerful women. Melva is she's a psychiatrist on Hoarders, and we talk and it's funny, but we have like an exchange of like light. Like sometimes when we're in the room, we light the motherfucker up. I mean, the room just lights up. But it's funny because it doesn't bother me if I'm there for a Melva thing. Then I'm doing a Melva thing. I'm just gonna be plain old Clee. I'm there to celebrate some people don't have that in them. And when you figure out that you've got a Molly that does not have that into them, y'all, do we cut them off? What do we do? What do we do? I'm asking you guys. Because I don't want to just throw nobody away. I want to make sure. LaDonna, what do we do? You still listening? You on? Yeah. It doesn't serve us. It isolates us. It absolutely does. It absolutely does. It also, the competition for us too in this community thing, it has been something that has led us to just bleed. I mean, bleed to the part to where our community always needs resuscitation. And the reason why we need to be resuscitated is because the competition has us so ill. It has us fighting each other so hard that we can't come together and build things. We can't build empires. We can't, because we're so afraid that somebody is going to outdo us in something. And that's some shit we got to throw away. When they start thinking about and talking about how we can be better in the community, we got to get rid of the Mollies, put them on the shelf. Absolutely. Put them on the shelf. We got to put them on the shelf. Do we take them back down, Temperance? It takes away from our yes, it does. Absolutely, Stacey. It takes away from our authentic self. So, Temperance, when you say put them on the shelf, do we ever take them back down? Do we ever take them back down off the shelf? They can't be the inner circle. Nope, they cannot. They cannot. They cannot. They cannot. And sometimes when we're investigating whether or not we want to get closer to someone, that can be any kind of relationship. That could be a partnership, a businessship. That can be a relationship. That can be a marriage. That can be an engagement. That can be an associate. You really have to spend the time asking the questions that are serious, so serious to your livelihood, imperative. Okay, you have to ask those questions. Like what's the relationship with you and your sister? What's the relationship with you and your best friend? Bye, Molly. Come on, bye, Molly. If they make soul-centered changes, they can come down off the shelf. Okay. That may work for you, Stacey. I don't know. Some of these people, I don't think I'm gonna let dust build up on their ass so tough. Because for me, and where I'm going, for me, I'm gonna talk about me now. I don't know if I'm being selfish, but I'm gonna talk about me because it's my show. For what I need all the organic matter I can get to grow authentic shit. I need love. I need check-ins. I need, sister, you okay? But I need it to be authentic. I'm very sensitive to fake shit. I can tell when somebody is giving you, hey, sis. Hey, queen. Hey, queen. Hey, queen. I see you. I see you. No, you don't see me. You don't even know me. And then make sure that they say, because they lie, matches what they say. Come on, Temperance. Come on. That it matches what they say. Hey, queen. Hey, sister. And I love those words, but I hate the way they're used. I hate that I would just rather you call me Cleo. If you don't love me like I love you or how I intend to love you as we foster a relationship, that Molly shit that you're giving, just call me Francis or call me Safenza or whatever and just keep it moving. The queen thing is reserved. I don't do one-sided relationships. Come on. Come on. The queen thing is reserved for people that I highly respect. Like if I'm calling you queen, I'm in awe of you. I'm in awe of your beautifulness, of your womanness, of your kindness, of your how you foster community, how you are with your friends, how you are with your family. That's a light you can't kill. That shit shines regardless. You can't stop it. That's queen shit. You're not worried about minute or little things. That just doesn't bother you. That's what I see at queen. So when people do things like that, or the whole hey queen, I'm like, so that comes to my other thing. So sometimes I know I have heard it. People told me, hey Cleo, you're nothing like, as I get to know you, you're nothing like they said you were. I was like, yeah, because I turned my nose up at fake motherfuckers with that queen shit. I turn my nose up at that. This is just who I am, authentically me. I want to build relationships. I want to make sure that everybody is able to earn, and we're all earners, and we're all kings and queens. We're all billionaires and trillionaires, and we're all comfortable. We're all able to have beach homes. We're all able to have gardens and feed our communities, and there is no lack, because I believe I don't know what that poverty thing is. I believe that we can do all things. These hands that we were blessed with, and this mind and this melanin, honey, there is nothing that we cannot do. But what we cannot afford to do is babysit the bullshit anymore. So the Mollies for me have to go. So when you see people like, you're not, I don't see you no more. Well, maybe you're a Molly. You don't call as much. I can't keep calling you. I've called you so many times to check up on you and your family and see. I'm done with U-turn relationships. That shit is old and tired. I'm too old. Khadijah, come on, sister, talk to me. Come on. We're going to have to get a telephone on this line, on this show, so I can take telephone calls. Yeah, people slinging terms. Yeah, willy-nilly. Willy-nilly. I mean, Sharon, I don't know any other way to be. I just don't know any other way to be. I can't grow. I can't be the person that I need to be if I'm on some fake shit. Like I tell people, like I walk into, they be like, "Hey, Cleo," hi. I'll be like, "Hello." You didn't spend any time with, because I don't like you. I don't like you like that. Me and you, we don't vibe like that. We don't have a synergy. And I can tell. And I can tell you're jealous of something that I'm doing that I have no control over. I don't even know why. A lot of people, and a lot of these Mollies, y'all, Khadijah, Sharon, Stacy, and everybody else who's watching, a lot of these Mollies, they don't even know why they mistreat people the way they do, or they treat you the way that they do. They don't even know why. And that's stupid to me. You don't even have a reason to why you're not even showing up or treating these people badly. So that's another reason to really just say you're wasting your time and get rid of their ass. I don't know about that shelf shit, Stacey, but okay. I cannot say not to do that, because that may work for you, and I love it. You love it. I love it. So, but I'm just thinking that sometimes we waste too much time on trying to foster these Molly relationships when we should be really focusing on something beautiful, something earthy, something lovely, something that serves everyone, to serve us all. When you have a beautiful relationship with a person, sometimes it serves the community. It's the synergy again, it's just a beautiful thing. So that's my talk on the Molly thing. So my next thing I want to talk about, and if does anybody have any questions? Khadijah, Oh man, hey, it's just what was on my heart, what was in my spirit, and that's what I was feeling. And maybe I'm not done talking about that. And maybe I'm not done. What I want to say is, if you have something that you're doing that's worthwhile to you, it can be something as spectacular as producing a TV show, as to growing an indoor plant. If that is important to you, and sometimes it's simple, sometimes it's complex, you should have the support of your circle around you. Somebody should notice enough to say, hey, Cleo, I know about that plant. I'm going to send you some stuff. I see you growing that plant. I just want to give you some love and help you. And maybe, you can add some other nutrients because I know a little bit about houseplants. I mean, use it, love it or not, or hey, sis, I would like to volunteer because this is my next thing I'm talking about. I'm going to the whole volunteer thing after the Molly thing. I would like to volunteer. Tell me how you want me to show up for you. Okay. So make sure that you have people around you that really care for you and that really are fostering you to be healthy, wealthy, a bright light, to be fun loving, and you have their support and you support them. That's just important. So the whole volunteer thing, that was my next thing I was going to. When we talk about these relationships, volunteering is important. Like, how do you show up in your volunteership? Like, how do you show up and say, I'm going to serve? This is not my thing. This is their thing. And I'm going to show up in such a capacity that I know I did a that I did a very good job, and I assisted them in the best capacity that I could. And I feel good. I feel so good, in fact, that I know when it's my turn for them to volunteer or show up for me, that they're going to do an exceptional job. How do we show up? How do we show? Do you show up and try to take over? Because that's not volunteering. That's taking over. Do you? Do you volunteer with an agenda? Because that's not volunteering. Not the type of agenda that's positive and reinforcing to where the job gets done or the common goal is reached. You know, do you volunteer with the spirit of Marcus Garvey? Do you? Or do you volunteer half-ass? You late? You got a shitty attitude? You do a half-ass job and then you leave early? Is that how you volunteer? You said my spirit got a butt. It do. I'm telling you. Is that how you volunteer? Because if that's how you volunteer, you need not volunteer anymore. People don't need your help anymore. People don't. When my grandmother taught me something. She said, and it's funny because some people just don't have the home training, and this is a fact. But my grandmother said, when you show up to assist somebody, you ask them, in what capacity do you need me? Because you want to find out a couple of things to see if you're even capable of even doing the job. Even if you're not getting paid, sometimes it's just community shit that you need to do or you need to show up for. But you need to know what capacity so you can tell them what you're capable of doing. And we don't do this. We don't ask enough questions. And then after you find out what capacity, you make sure, is there a color that I'm wearing? Is there something that you want us to greet the people? Do you want us to be silent? Am I behind the scenes? What do you want me to do? And a lot of times, and this is a fact, A lot of times when we show up for volunteering, they don't know what they want us to do. And sometimes we have to be a little patient. Now, it's okay to drop jewels and say something afterwards or send an email. That's sabotage. Come on. Come on, Temperance. What? Sharon, we are not going to get anywhere with that. We are not going to get anywhere with that energy. What is it? What's in it for you is we're building. Ain't none of us, all y'all thousandaires and hundredaires, ain't nobody got no real money. What do you mean what's in it for you? If I gave you everything that I made, how would I be able to accomplish the goal of even finishing this project? I have X amount of dollars for this. This is what this is going for. If I'm asking you to volunteer, what's in it for you is that maybe I will be there for you to volunteer when you need me. It's an exchange of goods. And sometimes that's what it is until we get over that hump, until we get over that thing. Well, we are live in the crazy. We are live in the shit. And you want to know why? There's some components to why we are not progressing. It's the Molly shit. Are you on Molly? How is your volunteership? How is your support? Who are you? Who are you? Why are you here? What are you doing? Because if we don't all come together and bridge this, no matter, I tell people all the time, it's a funny thing that we do have in our community too. When I say our community, I mean the black and brown community, where let me be fair in saying this. What I've experienced in Sacramento, I've experienced that you have to know, you have to have a whole Wikipedia page on somebody before people fuck with you. I come from Oakland, California, and was raised by people from New Orleans and Harlem. My mama's from New York. My daddy is from New Orleans. If you have something that I like and it's consistent and it serves me, I'm buying it. I don't need to know who your mama is. I don't need to know what your political affiliation is. I don't give a shit. Long as whatever, if I'm going to support you, I'm supporting you based on what you're providing as a product or whatever it is that is contributing to my happy space. Because that's what it is. We're purchasing and we are conducting business with people because we like what they're selling, or we like what they're giving, or we like what they do in the community, or whatever. But I don't have to. I don't have to have all those cliff notes on you. I just don't. And that's another thing. Oh, I know her. When in actuality, you don't know her. You don't. So those things, we got to kill those spirits too. Those are some other things. I'll get into that later too, in probably another show. But those are some things, some energies that we have to kill. We don't have to have a whole book on what the person has done that's making soap. Oh, I'm not gonna buy soap for her because her ex-husband used to people be distrustful and jealous. They do. Where does that come from? I'm not gonna buy soap for her. Well, why? Oh, because her husband he drives a Tahoe. That's bad for the environment. Okay. Wonderful. Those are those energies, y'all. Those are some things that we just really have to work on, And I was saying all these things in conclusion to the show, because we're getting down to the nitty gritty. If you are working on something And I love this because I had this discussion with Audrey Holmes last night. Audrey Holmes is the owner of Worldwide Hair Imports, and she is for the culture. She is a beautiful, wonderful person. I've worked with her. I've not only worked with her, I have rented a chair from her in her salon. So I have contributed to her business, to her situation. So I have been in support of her for years. And me and Audrey, we talked about, you know, what are the things, Cleo, she asked me, what are the things that don't allow people to go further in whatever it is that they're doing, even if it's just a hobby, not even a business thing. If they're writing a book, if they're writing a play, if they're doing this, I said, mental health, mental health. If that mental health is, if that mind is not healthy and all the roadblocks and things in their life or their home space is not clear, all that shit will keep coming up. They will keep being the Molly, the non-supporter, the bad volunteer, the community hater. All that shit just keeps rehashing. It just keeps rehashing. So you have to ask yourself, have I killed all those mental vibes that have kept me in bondage? Or what is keeping me in bondage from progressing smoothly? Because a lot of this stuff is just really easy. I noticed after I got rid of a lot of the mollies, life just started being a breeze. Stuff just started coming to me, great relationships. Everybody doesn't have to be a best friend. I'm okay with that, you know. And I love relationships. I did when I was a child. I hated meeting people. Listen to this. I don't know who my parents raised. I hated meeting people because I didn't want to leave them. It was and I had a healthy parental environment. My mother and father was married. And then when they divorced, my mother and stepfather were married for 35, 40 years. So I don't even know. I don't understand. I hated meeting people because I felt like, oh my God, we're really having a relationship and we're going to be friends and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And now you have to leave. Oh my God, I'm going to die. I can't believe I met this person and I love them. They're wonderful. And here we are. We have to disconnect. So for me, that was the energy as a child that I had. And as I continued in adulthood, it got hard for me to see that everybody don't love like that. Everybody don't care like that. Everybody's not trying to foster. It's a lot of Mollies out there, y'all. Mollywood. Mollywood. Mollywood swingers. I'm crazy, y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. So whatever you do, whatever you commit to, try to be your best. Try to do your best. Try to be a great volunteer. Try to come and have positive energy and positive words for people. Even if sometimes you want to be petty. Shit, it is a little bit of petty in us all. We can't help it because that is the construct that we were raised on in a petty motherfucking world. This is a petty place. But take yourself out of that. Make sure you try to do the corrections that assist and boost people and make them feel good. Everybody needs a good word. You should start your day off on a positive note. You should end your day, your evening on a positive note as well. Meditation, love. And there's nothing wrong with say, hey sis, I got you. Hey brother, I got you. Just tell me the capacity you want me to show up and I'll tell you what I'll be there for. Oh, the vampires is real. Temperance. Girl, is the vampires real? Come on, tell me. Tell me how real they are. Are they real? Shit, they bite people left and right. And I don't want none of them. Oh, ooh. So I have enjoyed you guys. Next week, I'm going to have a special guest. We're going to talk about some things as far as like black hair, women and how we wear our hair and how we feel about hair. So make sure that you're coming on and that you tune on. You tell your friends if you're interested, and if you're interested in the show, because we're really going to talk about too, how we feel about, because as a child, in our house, long hair was the thing, and if you cut your hair off, it was like, what are you doing? But that was my grandmother. My mother was really cool about, because she provided, and when she did that, my grandmother was like, oh my God, oh, I have a woman's glory is her hair. And, so all those crazy things we're going to talk about next week. I'm going to bring on some wonderful ladies that I have worked with, that are in the hair field. It's our culture, our hair. The light in us keeps them away. We got to shine our lights. The light is in me, and I must shine for the world to see. It is around me. It is in me. It is who I am. It is who you are. The light surrounds me. It is in me. It is who I am. And as I shine it, it becomes who you are. The light surrounds me, and it is within me. And see, those are the affirmations. Those are the positive things that you must put into your psyche. You must repeat those things, and you must live those things. And you must love like that, and you must share that, and you must tell sisters and brothers, hey, the light is in you. It's around you. Funny thing too. Did you guys see that movie Jingle Jangle? I think that's right. What it is with Felicia Rashad? There was something that she said at the end that moved me. I said, it's that simple. And she said, the magic has always been there. It's just waiting on you. Hey now. Okay, so we closing, y'all. This is For the Culture with Cleo Cartel. Do y'all have any questions? Anything? Oh, my handles are Mama's Market on Instagram. Check us out. We are wonderful. Oh, there's a hot new market out, and it's by this young sister named Debbie Dollars. She was an amazing poet. I think Debbie was also the Youth Poet Laureate. So you want to check her out. That's every second Sunday at Green Tech Farms on 4309 38th Street in Oak Park. It's every second Sunday. It's dope. She does a great job at curating this market. She brings in a full band. She brings in dope chefs. There's great food. There's great people that are artisans that are creating, and it's all Black. It's all brown. It's all beautiful. Please support her. She is Sankofa Market. Again, that's Sankofa Market. Mama's Market is there also every second Sunday to support her. We have a booth there. Israel Farm, Shea Butter, Brown Sugar Farms, the Bama Pit. And a plethora of other beautiful people. Check them out. It doesn't just have to be one market. People's like, oh, Cleo, you sell at somebody else's market? Hell yeah. And if somebody else opens another market, I'll be there. And Temperance will be at the store, or Wasu will be at the store, or Kyrie, or Mama Sarah, or whoever. We will switch off. I am supporting what is beautiful and what we need to support. So yes, I am at Sankofa Market. I am also, sometimes we have a residency, but because of the fires and everything, I couldn't get out there because of I didn't want to have like breathing issues or anything like that. So the Goods Market, that is in Elk Grove. We are also there. We support them. They're a beautiful family that a family of markets. You want to check them out. They are every single Thursday. Check them out. They're in I'll have, if you contact me, I'll have the address of that. I don't know it right off the back. That's in Elk Grove every Thursday. It's called What's Good in the Hood Market. You will love them. It is cool. Again, check out Sankofa. Check out Mama's Market. That's our website is mmfinefoods.com. Our Instagram is Mama's Market's Instagram. And I am Cleo Cartel. Peace and blessings, y'all. Shit.
You can't catch up to us and you can't feel our pain.